Hey everyone, it's Mary Ellen here. Woo! Did you see that? All right, so I'm here to speak with you. My guides are saying in a very reverent way about this full moon. And there's the first oracle card that's coming out of the deck. All right, so obviously, and we already know, this is a very powerful supermoon. We are all literally in the moment. My guides are saying the moment on this day. And for the next 6 months, this will affect us. They're talking about how all the full moons kind of build upon each other. So if you have some curiosity, go back and look at what's been coming forward. So we come now to this moment of transformation. And my guides are talking about the butterfly. And they're speaking about what it is, the way it is we grow. They're doing this a lot lately. They're talking about the energy, the way the energy moves as you grow into yourself. And you develop into the station you're meant to be in. So I love the story. Most people know the story of the ugly duckling and the swan. It's about feeling that you don't belong, that you're out of place, that somehow it doesn't work for you in the world, and that things are not the way you feel they should be. All those kind of ideas that have been percolating, my guides have been saying, inside of us for so long. And now we come to this moment. It's why we're doing the work of the tapestry. So while we're pulling the oracle cards out, I'm just going to talk with you a little bit about that. If you're new, welcome. And if you don't know, there is a group forming here at Moonrise Cottage intent upon doing the work of bringing forward the global heart mind. Vibrations are changing. Energy is being revealed and rising up within you in order to be utilized. Whatever you came in coded with. To be here for these moments, to help the global heart mind develop. Human beings call it 4D and 5D. It's about universal consciousness. So I'm going to put some links below the video to my favorite astrologers. Please go look. I'm begging you, please go look at the astrology. And you probably, my guides are saying, you have a favorite astrologer of your own. Go and check that person out. So look at that. There are a lot of water aspects. So yes, we have a full moon, a supermoon in Scorpio that is happening on this day. And the energy, if you can feel it, is just very ethereal. And I've been feeling that as the moon has been coming on. And what I'm actually doing in my little life, I'm reordering. And I believe it's a response to the energy that's coming forward and rising up from the deep with the Scorpio energy. So when you think about the water element and the way the water element cycles, my guides are talking from the deep ocean currents up to the surface, the currents that transport energy across the world, they're saying the globe that we live in, and the way the water cycles within its own body. There are a lot of things happening in that way. So look into the water elements. Look and see where you have water elements in your own chart. Where's Scorpio in your chart? I believe the full moon is 17 degrees Scorpio. So go look. See what that means for you so you really understand what part of your life is it that's being affected, that's meant to transform in order to help you complete your evolution and your emergence into this place. One more. My guides want this one. Also from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. That is sacred crow medicine. That's about the sacred laws of the universe. It is about waking up. It's about pecking at your own shadow. There's a deep story about crow. A lot of different traditions hold it a very sacred bird energy. It is about carrying forward the sacred laws of the universe. And when crow is known as the cross-eyed shamanic energy because crow looks at the ground with one eye and then with the other eye. And so there's a singular vision in each place that it looks, no matter how it looks, into the energy. And one of the things it does is it pecks at its shadow in order to wake it up. So I love the idea of crow medicine within this supermoon that we're having. So while we are weaving the tapestry, the links to join that group are below. It costs $11.11. We get together once a week on Sundays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and we look into all of these very subtle, very powerful energies, and we actually are using the principles of sound vibration. So please join us. There are some links below that delineate a particular meditative pathway to help you attune yourself and to help you learn into the subject matter. Well, my guides are correcting me. Actually, what you're learning into is the experiential matter of what is called Nada Yoga, and it's the science of sound. So I'm going to put one of the group members shared. We've been sharing links with each other as the weeks go on, things that inspire us, things that come to us, so that we can weave together the group as we are doing our part in this place to weave together the sacred tapestry of the global heart mind. And a lot of things are helping us. If you've been following my readings, you know the things that have been coming out and the way the guides are talking about bringing forward the 4D and the 5D. Yeah, okay, thank you. So this is the theme of the reading. Look at that. Okay, again, can you see it? There we go. That's the shaper of growth. This is the topic at hand. So the reading about this full supermoon is going to be about this topic. How do we grow into 4D? How do we grow into 5D? Simply, my guides are saying, simply, it's about growing into yourself and understanding your own energy, your own soul, its journey. Why is it here? What's it here to understand and to learn? And what is the service it's meant to be providing here? And that's why this channel and my readings focus on your soul journey. It is reflected in your human journey. And if you doubt that, come and have a chat with me, my guides are saying. So I think I didn't say it, but I'm being reminded. I have changed the price on all of my readings for this time because I want them to be extraordinarily accessible to everybody, because I want y'all to come and get your message. It's $25. The link is below. Just click on it. You can set your own appointment, okay? And it'll take you to PayPal. Okay, my guys want, there are 2 cards they want. So as we're talking about the collective, each member of the collective, and how important they are to the whole, when this full moon comes through, okay, wait a minute, they're talking to me about something else. All right, they're telling me it's going to come out, don't worry. So this is the card that indicates us in this reading, because we're doing a collective reading today. Do you see it is the courtship of knowledge? In the traditional tarot would be the 3 of Pentacles, where we see a young man standing on a bench in some sort of a temple or a church or a holy place, building it, working on bringing it into creation. And the guides come, the benefactors, and they have a discussion. What is needed? How do we go forward? And they literally shine a light on the plans. So that is, and there's a lot of energy streaming into my heart center when I speak about that. And physiologically, what I always tell people is, physiologically, I have a response because I'm in a human body. But me as a spirit being, I'm channeling the energy is channeling into me in order to be channeled out to you at this moment through the reading. So there's a lot of confirmation coming in, and a request for me to put a lot of emphasis on this idea. So in this deck, it's very mystical. It is about the sacred realm. More than anything else, how do we attach ourselves to the notions of who we truly are? So my guides would like you on this day, or whenever you happen upon this reading, to spend some time actually truly doing that. Spend some time with yourself as a spirit being to understand what are the emotions, what is the relationship to the sacred that you feel within you. It's not about what you should have or what you could have done, and it's just about right now in these moments. What is it you're feeling? Because you are in relationship, the energy is there waiting to stream to you and through you. A beautiful courtship. a skillful courtship having to do with knowledge. So when we have this kind of, hang on one sec. When we have this kind of a courtship, it's about spiritual knowledge. So, all the meanings of courtship. You bond yourself with another person or another entity, my guides are saying, the spirit realm. And slowly you begin in a way that takes up the energy of the sacred triad and the tripartite circuit of your soul. And it creates a freedom because of the knowledge that is revealed by virtue of the sacred triad. You are literally sharing energy with the universe, with the sacred heart mind. And with, my guys just said, and with the all divine, all those kinds of notions. So there is something that is happening on this full moon, this supermoon, that has to do with setting your soul free. It's like every full moon, things are being revealed to you. Knowledge. Things are coming to light. Secrets are coming up. More things are going to be revealed on the global scale, political scale, etc. All those things are going to be true. So while we're observing those things happening, understand and keep your focus on what is happening within you. What is happening within the collective? What is happening to the global consciousness? All those things. So that's the energy that you and I and we as individuals stand in and take up as a result of this full moon. My guides are talking about the way in which we are already connected. As we seek to increase that connection through increasing our own vibration. And when my guides talk about increasing your vibration, what they mean is bringing it to the surface so you can actually know it and understand it and acknowledge it to be true. So the first card in that realm of those notions, my guides are saying, there we are. It's another way to see ourselves in these moments. Okay, so we've got a fertile moment, a beautiful foundation of knowledge based on that. It's lovely. So this is the way we walk forward. Once you come to this moment of being in line with the sacred triad, another level deeper. So we see someone who appears to be standing on the earth, and yet we see the universe. And we see all the ascended masters, the angels, the archangels. There are a lot of archetypes that people utilize to help themselves connect intellectually and spiritually to these types of moments. That's why my guides always say, we don't care what you call it. It doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is that you understand and enact the concept in your own life. So here you are in this very spiritual way, in a very spiritual moment, here in these days. Okay, my guides want this one. Ooh, the cards are, my guides are saying they're self-generating. They're coming right up out of the deck. All right, so what's next? I love, personally, look at that. Those of you who've been following along my channel know what this means. For those of you that might be new, my guides are saying, welcome, they're very glad you're here. That is the sacred grandmother. The Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Knowledge, earthly knowledge. So we are talking about the transcendence of earthly knowledge, the ability of humans to take up the energy and connect with the guides in the sacred realm, the cosmos, the universe, God, the goddess. Again, the words don't matter. Words are becoming superfluous. What we're meant to be doing, all of us, is connecting on the vibrational, my guys are calling it the highway. Hang on, they're talking to me, I'm sorry. The sacred grandmother is weaving together the strings of destiny of her sacred lineage. So the inference is the sacred feminine that exists in the universe. It is a fertile moment with new growth coming forward. And yet it's coming from the ancient realm. The sacred ancient ones, the grandmothers, the grandfathers. Particularly in this moment, we're talking about the feminine because we're talking about the moon. So that is what's happening. And when you're able to connect your energy in this way, this is how the growth, because this is the Empress card, that's the theme of the reading, right? The shaper of growth in this deck. Souls are being transported. Ooh, I almost said transplanted. I like it. Souls are being transported energetically on the spiritual vibrational path into their destiny of growth. And they've been given, that's what my guides were talking about. Anyone who's here came here to be here in this moment and all the other moments of your life, obviously. In this moment, we have a transit happening. It's a very profound, beautiful transit into the deepest aspect of the water element, the deepest place that you live, the deepest meaning for your own life. Your own soul transit is being woven together with all the other folks who happen to have volunteered to be here in this moment. I love this. I love the way it's coming out. See that? Look. The renewer of growth. This has to do with the sacred triad that was channeling through a moment ago, the thing that my guides were talking about. They said this will come out, and there it is. So we see the triple goddess, the sacred brotherhood, the sons of Brigid is what this card talks about. And literally the words that were coming out of me, it talks about the cycle and the release of the tripartite soul, which is made free to go forward into the next phase of its existence, moving through the universe for healing and renewal. It's quite lovely. So my guys, they're chattering in the background. I'm going to keep moving with the reading. Pieces of the reading are coming through, so I'm going to keep moving forward with the shuffle. And they're talking about notions of the soul. They're talking about this. So if you imagine the moon card that I put as the thumbnail for this live stream, we see an image of the crow flying into the moon, flying into its place, which is into the sacred realm, behind the veil, into the mystery part of existence. That's the place we're sailing into on this moon. Because it is time for all of us to experience that. That's the unfolding. And so the way we're getting to this unfolding is extraordinarily mystical because of the full moon, supermoon, in Scorpio. Of all things, my guides are saying. They're saying, what could be better? Soon we're going to have a lot of planets transiting into retrograde, including Venus. So again, make sure you go and look. There's something that, Spirit. There's something that Venus is going to be attending to. I like this. That's the energy that causes our earthly urges, our earthly understanding, and the vibration that goes with that to connect to the soul intention of a moment. So in a reading, and the way I do the readings, because I'm focusing on our soul and our collective, there's always strings of energy. You know, in a way, we're my guides are saying, we're operating on string theory in some way. And now they're going off on waveforms and vibrational physics and things I don't want to talk about right now. But they want you to get the inference, okay? So I love this. 4 of Cups. The judgment of love, energy. That's what we're all thinking about because our heart chakras are cracked open. There's a literal tragedy going on. So I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling that sense of my heart center swelling. and that the energy's moving up. So I'm feeling a little challenged with speaking because I'm getting a little choked up and the little tears are coming behind my eyes. That's what happens for me when the energy starts to move. And my guides are asking in this moment, pay close attention to your emotions. They are the information highway for you. Please do your best to strive and make a commitment to yourself to be very present and to think very deeply about the use and the employment, and my guides are saying, and the misuse of love energy when it presents itself to you, either from within you or as a reflection of somebody who's standing near you or with you or someone that's in your life. It's the biggest challenge that we actually have in this place where we live now. It's why we're really all here. It's to explore the manifestation of love energy. What does it mean to feel love, the thing we call love? If you pay close attention, I'm getting a picture of a couple, right? So a couple of somebodies who feel a lot of love for each other, whether it's family or partnership or a workmate or a twin flame or quantum partner, doesn't matter. Focus on not the person, allow yourself to focus on the vibration. How is it that you feel as a vibrational being when you think about that person, when you stand next to them, when they are in the same place that you are in? Ask them, invite that person to join you. Can we please just stand in the energy? Let's just be together in the energy that each of us feels as individuals and that is created when we are magnetically joined together. What is it that happens? What could that be for? How does it affect our families, the people around us, our community, when we are able to be love energy generators? Very interesting. So we see that in the traditional tarot, we see a young man sitting under a tree. He's had lots of love in his life. He's got all kinds of cups lined up there, 3 cups. He's got all kinds of choices. And the universe is reaching through and saying, here, take that one. Take this cup. It's fabulously, okay, my guys are saying all kinds of words. Basically what they're talking about is the way this is energized with love energy, which makes it whole and stable and creates new growth and the ability to hold the vibrational essence of love energy within your personal vessel. And, if you come to any of my workshops or classes or any of the things that I offer, it's part of what we focus on. Your vessel. How do you make your vessel strong and whole? What is the purpose of your vessel? What does your astrology describe about your vibration? How is it that you connect into the all one, into the conduit from which you came? Load it up on a vibrational genetic, if you will. Genetics are not quite the right word, but it's enough for this understanding, my guides are saying. How is it that you are loaded up when you arrive here with everything that you need inside of you, and yet you doubt yourself, and you doubt your path, and you beat yourself up about your, quote, mistakes. And what you fail to understand is that you are here in part to experience your vessel. So just take note that in some way, we have 2 vessels here. So that's the grand experiment that I believe in some great philosophical way we're all experiencing. So what my guides are saying, they want me to show you this. So here's the middle row, and I will post, after the reading, if you don't know, I will post a picture on the community tab so you can see the full spread. Okay. Look. My guides always say, do you understand? Do they ask me, do they understand? And I always think, well, I hope so. I think so. Okay? So when we see it portrayed this way, we see the idea of a soul coming through to this realm, being delivered here, coming through the sacred feminine. As is true, my guides are saying. As is always true. up until these times, all of us have to come through the sacred feminine. That is literally a direct channel when you think about it. Now I'm getting choked up again. To the sacred consciousness. That is the universe, as we call it, or the sacred realm. It is a feminine portal. So we have on this day of a full super moon, a feminine portal, reminding us all that we arrived here with all the bounty that we need in order to have our journey. That is the Empress card, in case you didn't know. The Empress, who sits fertile in every moment, literally just manifesting, because she has the capacity within her. She has the capacity to understand that she has the capacity. And so it's to that energy that we're connecting when we see this as the card that represents the global consciousness, all the individuals who stand here. This is what's happening because it's Scorpio, and thank you, Scorpio. Because of this day of Scorpio full moon, this is what's literally available to us. A deep connection on a soul realm to the sacred. Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right because it's important. We can take our broken places and offer them right into the sacred realm and let it go, so that the healing that is meant to happen and the evolution that is meant to happen can bring us into a place of stability within our own individual vessel. It's so beautiful the way this message is coming out. I'm really grateful. So, hang on one second. There are cards they want. All right. Thank you, Spirit. On a soul level, as a collective, on the day of the full moon in Scorpio, look at that. That's what my guides have been talking about since the reading opened, they're saying. This is the place that we're standing. If you allow yourself to go deeply into the energy of the moon, just let yourself get in that boat. The way the moon card looks in this deck. If it doesn't come out, I'll pull it out and show it to you, in case you haven't seen it, okay? That's a 10 of Cups. So again, look, or pardon me, Pentacles. Quest. A quest of knowledge. So because of the prophecy in the astrology about this particular moon and all the things that are true about the energy and the axis shift and Schumann's resonance and the earth axis is shifting, so much going on. This is the quest that we are on, that we have the ability, this is the place we have the ability to quest into in a very sacred way on this day. Transformation through connecting to the gifts that are within us, our own destiny here on the earth, meant to be woven together for global healing. That's what the story is. So, what my guys are talking about is, dream. The full moon is very dreamy. I've been feeling very dreamy, and it's one of those moments when I'm feeling a little frustrated with the fact that we all have to be in quarantine, because these are beautiful days that people could come and be here at Moonrise Cottage for a soul retreat. The appropriate thing really is stay home, stay safe, help the doctors and nurses, do not create another infection and put their lives in danger, all those things. It's true. Everybody's frustrated. My guides are saying, so what? Grow up a little. Do what needs to be done and all that kind of thing. This will pass. We all know. So if it takes another month, who cares? Gosh, they're upset is what it is, because people are not following the guidelines. So I guess that's just a little commercial. Understand that we have a moment, because again, it's Scorpio. We can access the deep records that we came encoded with. That's the quest we're all on, is to uncover our Akashic records, people call it. The sacred things that exist in the book, thank you, Spirit, the book of laws that is bound up with crow feathers. And crow medicine is about the Book of Sacred Laws. And it is the way in which crow reminds us to go into the deep, to uncover our knowledge of the sacred laws of the universe. Thank you, Spirit. Through the water element. Very definitely. In order to develop into our beauty place. Right? The fullness of what it is to be a spirit being inside this human shell and really know and really experience it within you. So that's the first card on the realm of the soul circuit that my guides are talking about. The second one, so here we have 10 of Pentacles in traditional tarot. It's, we see individuals who have reached the height of happiness through love and bonding and having earthly possessions and ease. And, they have the marriage and the kids and the dog and the castle, the whole thing. Right? The stuff of people's dreams. No matter, okay, my guys are talking about, well, they don't care if you're straight or gay or bi or trans or, they want to make sure that you know that we're not talking about specifically a certain reference point. So, on a soul level, we have the ability to see these deep records encoded within us that we came through with. And then the very next step, once you come into the awareness and the knowledge, when you finish this quest about the knowledge of yourself as a being and the way we're all connected and what that means, literally for us, when the moment really finally arrives, there will be never again will there be able to be another war or the allowance. My guides are saying the allowance, and they're talking about the global heart mind set point. There will never be it. Okay, what are they trying to say? They're saying words about there will never be an allowance of the way things are now, and they're talking about people who are starving, people who don't have just their basic needs met, people who are suffering because they cannot access medical care, all those things. It just will stop. Nobody will be able to pick up a weapon and point it at anybody else because they will know they're pointing it at themselves. And what reverberates, my guides are saying, what then reverberates? They're yelling at me, they want me to hold that up. What then reverberates back into the collective? So those are the kinds of things they're talking about. That is the King of Cups, who is the sacred path finder when it comes to the art of loving. What is your path? How will you find it? Do you see the crow? My guides are, they're basically just pausing. They want that to sink in deep. So here we see this beautiful king who has a mystical spear, and its power is that it can clear away the obstacles in order to be able to walk the sacred path of love energy. And he is literally using his sacred vision and his activated heart to find the pathway based on the sacred laws of the universe. So when we think back about the bridge card and the energy that ties us, look, we are talking about love. The universe is literally handing us the cup. And we've been sitting around looking at the things we've already experienced. And apparently the message is we're not ready to take the sacred cup that's being offered by the universe because we're still contemplating what we have created and what we have experienced. And that is a pathway that feels like this, somewhat whole, somewhat broken, split internally. And I believe this message talks about the way in which we can bond those things together now. Very interesting. The card, my guides have really been talking through the cards the last couple of weeks or so, And as we've come closer to the full moon, it's been really intense. So I want to just show you what's on the bottom of the deck. Let me check with them and see if they want this. Look at that. That is about them. Yeah, they're saying yes. Okay, so this is about going into the underworld, behind the veil, out into the universe, on the day of the full moon, Scorpio full moon, to touch death. Wow. The experience of crossing over. That's what they want to talk about. So this young man stepped into the town commons where the gallows were in order to put a rope around a corpse to prove his bravery. And the moment he stepped into that place, he was transported into a visionary place. And in his ability to suddenly have vision, he saw his world, the place where he lived, burning to the ground. And it caused him to then be able to be in contact, my guys just said, with the divine realm. They're talking about, what the allegory of the moment that we're in. In the story, he met a woman there, a fairy, who said to him, you have to go back and call out a warning. You can prevent this tragedy, but you have to take an action. You cannot stay here. I will help you, but you have to go back home and fix it. Basically, my guys are talking about, now they're talking about silly things. They're talking about sort of the funny irony of the moment, right? When you cross over into the sacred realm, and the first thing that happens is you meet an enlightened being who says, you got to go back. You can't stay here. You got to go back and prevent this tragedy, if that's what's in your heart and that's what you want. And he did. And then he had the ability, I love this, thank you, Spirit, to fly back and forth, transport himself back and forth into the sacred realm, which he did. And in the end of the story, he went back into what in Irish mythology is called the underworld, the world of the fairies. And he married the woman, the fairy woman, called a banshee that he met there, and he lived there in the sacred realm forever. That's the pathway we're trying to find. We have on days like this no obstacle. Use your sacred vision, because we all know what it feels like to have a global tragedy. All of us that are here now in these moments, we have had the experience. So travel into the mystical realm on this day with your energy. Meet the global heart mind. Ask to be transported and connected to that place. And you, my guides just said, and it will be so. It will be made possible. You'll be able to feel it. You can change the world in a day. It could happen. Seriously. Here's the outcome. Love this. Very poignant. Oh boy, another courtship. The courtship of battle. So, the theme of the reading, my guides are saying the we of the reading, is about this kind of a courtship. A courtship of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. There's the outcome of the reading. The courtship of battle. Three of Swords, heartbreak. It's fabulous. Thank you, Spirit. So fabulous. It's a story about two warriors engaged in a long battle, intent on fighting each other to the death. That woman was intent on killing this man. She was betrothed, and he is a soldier, and he killed her beloved. It was kind of an accident. I mean, he was doing what he was meant to do. So my guys are talking about, as we've been existing, many of us have been living the good life and doing what we think we're meant to be doing. And the battle of what it is to be alive and to go through your day-to-day existence, knowing that this is happening all around us. Like my guys were talking about. It's untenable. It's a heart chakra wounding in every moment. Think of the PTSD from that. We don't often allow ourselves to touch it, but it is true, and we carry it. And so we walk in this place with a broken heart. And then we experience our own life, which brings to us heartbreak, like I just said, and destruction, things like that. Do you see the water element? Do you see the sacred feminine in the water element? Like we have on this day, my guides are saying. So the little mythical fairy tale that goes with this card is about the way the sacred feminine aspect ended up in the water, threatening to be, washed away, downstream, basically. And when that moment happened, they both realized, no, we can't let that happen. I love that person. And it's through the battle that we've had that I've learned to grow into my respect and admiration for that person as a warrior. And I want a positive outcome. And so when the broken heart moment comes, the healing comes immediately because of the broken heart. And he plunges his sword into the ground, reaches out for her wrist. Do you see how she's handing him the ballast of her sword? And they're both having this moment of realization, like, oh, no, wait a minute. That's not the outcome we wanted. I mean, maybe it was. But now I changed my mind. Right? So the way in which a broken heart can totally change our destiny. And that's a little hut in the background, happy ending and happily ever after and all that thing. So we're talking about finding the pathway forward through the manifestation of all the things that scare the living daylights out of us. The things that we have created out of our collective heart mind that cause us to end up in this place. And then we finally realize, hold it, stop everything. This is not what we want. This is not the outcome that I want. And now that I can feel the heartbreak of that which I have created, I can free myself from it. That's the 8 of Cups. I love this. Thank you, Spirit. Whew. So it's a story about 2 people that found a treasure map in this deck. And they went to find the treasure. They found it. And they climbed up on the platform to start plundering the massive amount of gold and rubies and diamonds and things that were in the giant bowl. My guys want to show you that. See? They're talking about the pathway that we've had. And what's in us, what's inside of us. Do you see those 3 vessels? Each one looking very different. Each one having a lot of power within the reading. My guides are talking about the inception point of your experience here as a spirit being. And now we know. Now we fully know what all the fighting and all the bickering and all the, on any level that you want to put it on right now, we have a fabulous example of this. In the world at large. And we finally feel the heartbreak that we have created because we've been willing to be in battle. It's what helped us to feel power. And we realize now it has created a placement of powerlessness because that kind of a battle, that kind of a duel serves nobody. And we finally realize it's not the path we want at all. See how the river of life is flowing through and they are stuck to the bowl. They can't move. And the sacred feminine's looking at the water and realizing, oh yeah, wait a minute, I want to be in that place. And that gentleman is just in a state of shock, apparently, right? Do you see how he's got his spear and it's on the ground next to him? Here's where it should be. That's where your sacred spirit should be, clearing away obstacles. While your heart chakra can, with its sacred vision, that's where the sacred vision comes from your heart chakra. So I think it's part of why, of late, my guides are saying of late, I've been talking about my experience of how I feel the energy and how I accept it into my being and how it channels into me and how I know what it's really for. Primarily, it's to be able to radiate that energy out to the people who are with me, who are near me, who are around me, and my guides are saying, and into the global realm, definitely. So while we're finding the sacred pathway, we come to this moment of just utter heartbreak, so much so that it causes us to have a realization, because we've been on quest for sacred knowledge. And in that moment, our love energy carries us. We have an elopement. It actually carries us into our intended destination. That is why in the traditional deck, you see the Eight of Cups as somebody who is walking away from the Tower of Cups that have been built up. And the bridge energy to being able, on a human realm, to be able to come to this understanding. This was the energy. We were just suddenly pondering. We began to ponder. Well, I see the cup of universal love. I see what's being offered to me, but I need to focus for a minute on all this other stuff that I got going on. All the other ways that I'm exploring love energy. Now we can literally let go and walk into our destiny, which is what happens in the Eight of Cups. It's a beautiful card. It's a really beautiful card about walking into your destiny. Are you walking away from something? Yeah, that's okay. Walk. Walk on into your destiny. That's what my guides are talking about. So as we walk this walk, my guides are talking about the foundation that we will be standing on. There we go. This beautiful male energy being utilized by the sacred feminine who opened the reading. The energy now, because of the transition, and we've been seeing the male energy moving forward with what the sacred feminine has given and moving it forward. That's how it works. My guys are saying, that's how it works. Like, yes, that's how it works. Absolutely. This is the Six of Wands. It's a moment of victory. When we see, my guides are showing me an image, where the whole world cheers because it feels itself for the first time and people are celebrating. So working with the energy of the sacred realm, the void, the sacred laws, and the fire of creation in order to create something new, forging something new. I love the depiction of it. So the notion is that this person has come through a rite of passage. So in this reading, we're talking about the rite of passage of love energy and how it affects us and what we understand about our vibrational being as a manifestation of and as a conduit for sacred love energy because of the laws of the universe. And it's from the mystical realm that comes, traveling across the universe just like light does. So it's very interesting because we, in our Sunday group, hang on, my guys are talking about, I'm not sure they're correct. Okay, they're talking about this coming week because it's on the menu of, but it's a 12-week process. I think we're going to be in week number 3 this coming week. And if you still want to join up, please do. Don't worry about it. Whenever you show up, it's the right moment for the group and for you, okay? So my guys are talking about physics again, which they do a lot. They're talking about quantum entanglement and the way a particle, according to the experiments that have been done, the way a particle in, Antarctica when that particle is manipulated through the manifestations of science, if there's another particle that is relational to that in, I don't know, the Arctic Circle, since they're using that example, faster than the speed of light, that other particle will respond because they are entangled. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance because he couldn't figure it out. And now it's been actually proven to be true. So if you use that as a reference point and you apply it to humanity, then you begin to understand what is really true about us and how it is we understand, we can become to understand the vibrational connection that we have. And that's why people talk about 4D and 5D. That's what they're talking about. My guides call it weaving the tapestry, coming together to that place to have that experience. And it's happening. The pathway we have chosen is the path, the sacred path of the broken heart. It's so beautiful. And what a better way to, they're talking again about Scorpio, and they're saying, the way the Scorpio energy is being utilized to allow us to go into the deep of that idea and actually believe it and experience it for yourself. Because now we have a global heartbreak, literally going on. It's difficult moments on a heart chakra level. So allow yourself to feel the heartbreak. It's the sacred gift we're being given. And please do not fall into despair. Fall into what my guides call the joy place. Because this is what's unfolding. And here it is. Thank you, Spirit. Look. Another quest. It's quite stunningly beautiful. The quest of love. Art in this deck. The art of loving. Look at that. So when we allow ourselves to really feel the heartbreak and go into the deepest place, release ourselves from notions of separation. That's what we're walking away from. In that moment, something is discovered. Right? We pull aside the fronds of our own. My guys are talking about the way we've got the blindfold on and all those kinds of things. Look at that. That's Piscean energy, leaping up from the deep. Suddenly you're taking, you're out wherever you are and you pull aside the fronds and you see that vision. So I believe that we're going to be able to have that vision on this day and in the months going forward. So attach yourself, my guides are saying, to that notion. It's time, thank you, Spirit. It's time to reattach ourselves. Okay, I see what they're talking about. Hang on one sec. Which place would you like to be attached to in your life? What is it that should be at the forefront of your understanding and your knowledge? So if you focus on the heartbreak, we will get more. If you focus on that's what we will, that's, one more thing, sorry. That's where we will go. Which place would you like to be in? So it's time to let go of our fascination and our addiction to battle and to heartbreak. My guides are saying things like, just stop doing it. Just as an exercise, allow yourself, every time you have a negative thought or a worry or you feel your heart break, and a lot of us, it's an experience that we have every day. It's part of the pathway that we're learning on, I believe. So if you can weather the heartbreak that comes into your life, and when, my guides are saying, use it as a sacred reminder. Every time you feel that, pause and allow yourself to envision this idea. The emergence of sacred collective consciousness. That's the sacred salmon that represents Piscean energy. And Piscean energy represents communal consciousness, global consciousness, universal consciousness, the all one, all those things. Right? Again, my guides are saying, however you describe it is fine with them. We will all understand the notion they're saying. So this is what is emerging. My guides have been talking about it for a long time. I'm experiencing it in my own life. So the last thing they're kind of pushing through with, it's being pushed onto my tongue. They're talking about the way we now will have, if we can bring our focus to this place, our actions and expectations will change. Our desires will change into the place that we actually want them to be. And it is by those means that we will be able to manifest our desires that are actually here, because that's the quest that we're on. Absolutely, without any doubt, it's the quest that we're on. And we now have the sacred vision. So in this day, I think my advice, my guides, they're saying our guidance will tell you on this day to make certain that you take up the quest, actually literally ask for it, ask for the sacred vision, ask for the manifestation to begin within you. And then they say things like, and then it shall be, because that is how manifestation works. So going forward, my guides have been telling me for a while, I had to go out on my sacred journey. Going forward from here, I'm going to be increasing the types of things that I offer. I'm going to start offering classes in manifestation of Sacred Heart Mind. How do you manifest? It's a mystery to most people. How do you step into the literal flow of the energy in order to experience what it is meant to bring to you? That's what manifesting is. So when you want to manifest a thing, that's a particular use of that energy. They're going on and on about that. So I guess they're using this moment to prod me to make that announcement, to prod me forward, because that's part of my destiny. So let's pick from the bag of runes, and we'll finish off this reading. And if you're there in the chat room, I'm going to come chat with you, okay? Let's finish the reading. If you have any questions, put them in, like I said, put them in sentence form and put them there. And we'll chat for a while, okay? All right, gang, would you all just join with me? Let's take a moment, okay? Let's just take a moment to quiet into the place the guides have been talking about. Together as a collective, whoever might be here. Spirit, can you please give us some advice? How is it we should go forward? What is it we can know about these days? Okay. Look, it's beautiful. So we see the rune for joy with its mirror image. Again, they're talking about look deep inside yourself. See yourself. Bond yourself to yourself. I'm going to read to you from the book. Let's see. I think my glasses are here. And then I'm going to come over to the chat room, okay, gang? In case you have any questions. So let's take a look. That guy just said, let's see what the pages have to say. It's beautiful. And that is the rune for the self. Just so you know, okay? I like it. Thank you, Spirit. If you don't know and you're new to my channel, this is the book I'm using. It's the Book of Runes by Ralph Blum. A beautiful fellow. He's got just a couple of videos on YouTube. My guides are saying he was a dear heart. This was one of his masterworks in his lifetime. He's passed on now. So you can order this on, certainly at any bookstore. It's very inexpensive. It might be a good thing to have a set for yourself if you'd like, okay? All right, so the self, Manaz, is the name of the rune. The starting point is the self. Its essence, thank you, Spirit, is water. Hang on. Just for fun, they're saying, just because. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Only clarity, willingness to change. Yeah. Only clarity and willingness to change is effective in these moments. Now, they're saying in the now. A correct relationship to yourself is primary. For from it flow all possible right relationships with others and with the divine. Remain modest. That is the oracle's counsel. Regardless of how great may be your merit. Be yielding, be devoted, be moderate. For then you have a true direction in your own life. It is time to be in the world, but not of it. And yet, do not be closed, do not be narrow, do not be judging, but rather remain receptive to the impulses flowing from the divine, within and without. Okay, so they always talk to me about, hold up the card, hold up the card. So I'm going to do my best to put all these things together. Maybe like that. Okay. Strive to live the ordinary life in a non-ordinary way. Remember at all times what it is that is coming to be and what it is that is coming into focus and which is passing away. And keep your focus on that which abides, means what we're manifesting now because of the energy of this full moon. We can literally change the planet. You know, I do believe it's true. It can happen in a moment. All these moments add up together. So in each moment, my guys are talking about, in each moment we experience increase if we are allowing ourselves. If you look into yourself and you allow yourself, capital S, to take up the energy and be part of it, then you energize yourself to be a conduit for the energy that's coming through. Those are the things that people mean. My guys are saying that is the meaning when people say the words raise your vibration. Okay, they're saying we do not believe in this place that you need to raise your vibration. You just need to activate your vibration. You came here with an astrological description that describes your spectral signature as a vibrational being. We just have to uncover it. We have to go through whatever we have to go through to be able to understand it, understand ourselves. That's why I urge people, even though I'm not an astrologer, I urge everyone to look as deeply into your chart as possible with a sacred astrologist who will be able to help you understand in a very deep way, more than sort of the average cliche of things that are spoken, my guides are saying. All right. So, hang on, now I have to find my place again. Be in the world and not of it. Remain receptive to the impulses flowing from the divine, within and without, and strive to live the ordinary life in a non-ordinary way. Remember at all times what is coming to be and what is passing away, and focus on that which abides. This is a time of major growth and rectification. Thank you, Spirit. And as a rule, rectification must come before progress can be made. The field is tilled before the seed is planted, and the garden is weeded before the flower blooms. And the self must know stillness before it can discover its true song. Instead of seeking credit for your accomplishments or focusing on results, be content to do your task for the sake of the task. And we're not talking about work. We're talking about my guides are saying the words that have been said here in the reading, okay? Just to make sure I'm being clear. Herein lies the secret of experiencing a true present. And my guides are saying, and a true presence within the framework of what we're talking about, okay? If you take the rune of the self and you cut it down the middle, you will see the rune for joy with its mirror image. There is here a subtle caution against carelessness, because the self is required to balance the self. Nothing in excess was the second phrase written over the gateway at the Temple of Delphi. The first counsel was, know thyself. So, what are we? Who are we? Why are we here? All those questions. Everybody who comes to Moonrise Cottage, everybody wants to know the answer to that question. I think that's my primary job. And my guides are saying, and we'll tell you what your purpose is. Generally speaking, what my guides always counsel is, your purpose is you. In all the ways that are being spoken about right now, you are your purpose. Don't doubt yourself. Your path of development is going to be unique to yourself. And then we have moments of global, my guides are saying, leapfrogging into the next place of destiny. That's what's literally happening right now. So take the day, take the next week or so, take the next several months, put this message into your broken heart and allow it to evolve from there. My guides are talking about plant the seed in your heart for this idea and say thank you and water it every day. Spend a little time with the sacred realm and keep your focus in that place, because the heartbreak is actually a seed pod for something that's meant to come forward. Such a beautiful thank you, Spirit. My guides have been talking with me about this idea for a long time now, a couple of years. And it's really wonderful to be standing in the moment when this becomes visible. The truth is, it's been happening since we started walking in this place, my guides are saying. So gang, that's it. That's the message from my guides on this beautiful supermoon at Scorpio. I want to thank all the Scorpio and all the water people for carrying the energy of transformation forward. And now the ability to transfer this energy into the realm of Gemini, the sacred mind of the universe. Experiencing this dual existence, a spirit being inhabiting a human shell and walking through the experience of heartbreak, because it's the seed of our next form, my guides are saying, of existence. So gang, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to pause briefly. I'm going to come over to the chat room. So if you stumble upon this message and it's not the full moon day, take it to heart, my guides are saying, please. That's why it has been created. All right, gang. Thank you so much. Namaste, and love and hugs as always to everybody out there. I'll look forward to speaking with you again soon. Okay, gang, coming over to the chat room. Hang on, bear with me. I'll be right there. Hey, everybody. Oh, look at all the folks that are, it's always a big surprise for me. I have to do it this way because I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. And if I have my glasses on, then I can't see it. So, hi, Wawa. Juanita. It's so nice to see you. Wawa, you're Scorpio rising. Hooray, Juanita. You are Cancer rising. So all you beautiful water folks, truly, I just want to give you my love and my thanks and my gratitude for showing up here as a water sign. It can be a challenging path to walk. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through, okay? Say hi to everybody. Hi, Jenny. Glad you caught me. Yeah, it was Marie Antoinette. Hi, darling. Hugs and kisses to you. How are things in Europe? Marie Antoinette is in Switzerland. What's going on? How are you guys over there? Anna Sophia Erickson, you're in Sweden. Glad you're here. Oh, yeah, it's getting more and more real to you. Wow, you know, I am my guides are very happy with you because you have made a massive transition in your own life, have you not? And you're now able to be feeling your energy again, feeling the energy of the divine, all those things, because you've been through a lot. I know, I love this deck too. I really do. Heather Frankie, I don't know how to say it. Put the telescope on the moon and Venus last night in the clear skies. Ooh, that must have been something. You know what? I just found a telescope. I've had a telescope in my house, a handheld one. Where is it? It's over there on the windowsill. And it's been buried in a drawer. So part of what I've been doing, I think in response energetically to this moon coming forward, the whole notion of going deep. I'm going deep into my house. I have been rooting things out, like in an obsessive compulsive way. I just looking at like every corner. And then, you know how it is. Life is busy. You do what you do. And all of a sudden you realize, you know that box that I put over there in that corner with that stuff in it? Now I put more stuff in it. Now there's stuff piled on top of the stuff. I'm getting that out of here today. So my house is feeling as if it's building itself again. That's the experience I had when I first came here. The house built itself. And I'm feeling it. It's like the house is coming alive into its new condition because I'm a new person, because I left and had a journey and came home and didn't anticipate being here, but I'm just increasingly so glad that I'm able to be here, and I am still looking forward to continuing my journey whenever the time allows. So they're talking about the way things just kind of come up, that thing about coming up. Where'd the card go? All of a sudden things emerge and they come to the surface and then we can respond to them. Okay, let's see. You know what, Marie Antoinette, you're always right on time. Don't you worry about it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's overcast here. We have so much overcast weather. It's one of the things that became really clear to me is I love where I live, but it is overcast many more days than we have sun. And now that I've been in a place for 6 months where there was beautiful, brilliant sunlight all day, 98% of the time, I'm realizing, oh, maybe if I'm meant to travel on and be living in a new place, maybe I'll go someplace like that because it was glorious. Jenny, many of the cards were in the Sagittarius reading. Yes, because we're going forward. It's just, you know, that notion of letting go with Sagittarius in the South. No, what are we letting go of? We're letting go of our attachment. Oh, my guys, we're trying to talk about that. And then I forgot. So, you know, the way we get attached, and it binds itself up in our neurology. You can literally change your neurologic pathway that affects your outcomes. And it's part of why they were talking about keep your focus on what you want to manifest. Do not allow yourself to be addicted in a thought process kind of way to the things that break your heart, the things that you don't want. I know we have to process them. We always do. It takes time. Even while you are processing. That's how I live my life to the best of my ability. Am I successful every minute, every day? No, of course not. I'm a human being. When I have an emotion that is feeling sad or whatever the case may be, I am meant to focus on that for a moment so I can walk into the center of it, experience it, be present with myself. And then the moment I'm able, remember, oh yeah, I want to be in the joy place. That's what I tell all my partners. I want to be in the joy place. Sometimes I'm focusing on that. And that never brings me happiness, nor does it ever cause me to be able to manifest anything in my life ever. That's the best I can understand it, given my own experience. So, when you're focused / addicted mentally, because it literally creates a chemical response in your brain. So if you're a person who, okay, I'll use myself as an example. I'm an Aries rising. And I have had all my life an enormous amount of energy. And, all the Aries stuff. I just want to move forward. I don't want any obstacles. I want to radiate out into the universe, things like that. So I love to go on adventures. And when I was growing into the correct use of that energy, as a young person, I had a lot of challenge with moderating the energy. And so if it's unmoderated, it can turn into frequent. Okay, my guides are talking about reaction rather than response, that stuff. So my first impulse was anger. And I had to literally when I finally realized, I thought, yeah, how come everything makes me mad? What's that all about? How about if everything caused me to feel just my desire? Now I can feel joy when I get an energy surge, because the anger is a shield and it prevents movement, because it's protecting me, because I have a fear. So that was the pathway that I had to learn to manage. And if you continue to allow yourself and you do not train yourself to be in this place, you chemically are literally addicted to the negative emotion. That's what addiction is basically chemical response. So you can train yourself to respond so that your brain will respond with this kind of an idea, this kind of a feeling, a thought feeling, my guides are saying. We can literally do it now. That's why they're talking about let go of the heartbreak and focus on this. It doesn't mean don't acknowledge yourself or don't acknowledge the experience that you're having. Not at all. It's about letting go of the chemical addiction in the neurons, the neurological pathway, the synapses in our brains. It's been proven by science. So you can literally reprogram your brain with your emotions. So that's the work that they want us to take up in these moments. Fascinating, isn't it? All right, let me come back to the chat. Where's my little glasses? Here they are, right in front of me, of course. Hang on. Madhvi, you're Scorpio rising. Conjunct with the ascendant. So, Madhvi, you have had quite a Scorpio journey in your life. I just want to honor you for that. And I understand to the best of my ability. I have Scorpio in the 8th house in my chart. So that's how deep I go. And, constantly in connection with the mystical realm and the notion of death and rebirth. And all those things have been my destiny. If you really if you knew my life story, you would be able to see that. That's why I tell people you got to look at your chart. You have to know. If you really want to come to peace, you need, in my belief, it will be very helpful for you to understand your destiny as it was written in the stars when you came here. It's all in your chart. So if you look in your chart at the manifestations of where the energy placement is and how it affects you, the totality of your being, and then you look into the numerology of that, something magical happens. And it's this kind of thing, sort of, right? You begin to realize, oh, I really have been following the path that my chart delineates. It's magic. It feels like magic to me, and it's fun. So, all right, let's see. Madhavi, you're saying in Switzerland you're confined until May 11th. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on here in the United States. There was a pathway, and then you know what happened to it. because there's a very unstable person in leadership. My guides are saying because he's not able to follow a pathway. True that. Heather, you're thinking of moving to Kauai. Woo, gosh, doesn't that sound fabulous? Your youngest goes to college there. Can you pull a yes or a no card for this idea? I have been. The vibrational vortexes and they're tangible. So, Heather, I'd be happy to, but I would request that you just go and book one of those $25 readings, and we can look into it in a way that's deeper than that. I would love to, but you know how it goes. If I do that for you, then pretty soon 4 hours, and I'll be doing it for everybody. So I don't want to do that at this moment. I'd rather actually connect deeply with you. Okay. You, Baba, you were about to talk about, say, manifestation. Yeah. Hey, Primary Feathers. Hi, darling. Hey, Jenny Love. You have Scorpio Moon. All right, gang. Let's see. What time is it? It's 3:22. Holy smack. All right. It's been an hour and a half. So I'm going to wrap it up unless anybody's got any, particular question about the reading itself. I think it's a 60-second delay on the chat. So type it in quick, and we will wrap it up for today. Thanks for being here, gang. I was doing that thing, cleaning the house and clearing the house out, and so the next thing, my guides are talking about the next thing. So the next thing, please be certain in some way, if not literal, then energetically, when the new moon comes, plant the seeds. Because the seed is within us, and it can really go into the ground within our beings as we come forward. I think that's part of why I'm just back home to attend to the messages that need to come out, because I was having a fantastic mystical journey, and most of the time I never had internet. So, I think things turn out the way they should. I guess that's what I think. And I'm looking forward still to traveling around a bit more, hopefully, perhaps, depending on everything, in the fall. We'll see. It might have to wait a year. I'm just coming to terms with it. Might just have to wait, and that's okay with me. Primary Feathers. Yeah, you can watch the replay. All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here, and I will be doing this again on the new moon. So that'll be the 22nd. Right now I don't exactly know what day it is, but it'll probably be around this time in the afternoon, maybe a little earlier, just for the sake of the folks who are in Europe, because they're 5, 6, 7 hours ahead of us here in the United States. So it's not too late at night for you folks. All right, gang. Thank you. Thanks. Yes, Wawa. Thank you for saying thank you to the chat. Gang, I love you all. Send you my love. Just, if you have the ability to go outside and look at the moon, do the things that my guys were talking about, and plant your own seed. Go deep into yourself, and we'll see each other in the vibrational realm. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely day.